This is a show where we do exclusive talks with successful entrepreneurs from all around the world. You hear their stories, their challenges, and advice that you can use when starting your own business. Take notes and take action. Let's go. Hi, I'm Angelo now, and welcome to Build Different, episode number 7. Let's talk digital marketing, Facebook ads, and lead generation. Before we get into the talk, let's give thanks to our good friends over at Skillshare for supporting the show. Skillshare is a service where you can learn new skills online, such as filmmaking, business, design, or even photography. And there's over 23,000 classes from experts from around the world. Skillshare is honestly a great place to get started if you're trying to expand your current skill set or even learn and try something that you've never tried before. If you're interested in learning a new skill or want to see my top recommended classes for entrepreneurs, click the link below. The first 500 people that sign up are going to get the first 2 months for free and receive an invitation to our secret Facebook community of entrepreneurs. Once you sign up, you'll have access to unlimited premium courses, and if for any reason you don't like it, Skillshare makes it super easy to cancel within your trial period without getting charged. So if you want to learn a new skill and be a part of the first 500 people that get 2 months free, make sure to click the link below. Now back to the show. Our next guest is Cynthia Sandoval, a Facebook advertiser, content marketer, and lead generator. She helps businesses increase sales by utilizing online lead generation techniques and strategies. Her digital marketing strategy is different from her competitors because she primarily focuses on increasing clients' ROI, return on investment. She laid it all out in our talk, so I'm excited for you to hear it. Stick around to the end for my top takeaways, and without any further ado, here's her story.
So it's kind of tough to explain set up a business just because I really identify myself as a solopreneur at the moment. I'm really a freelancer, so I pretty much have just started my journey. And I spent a while kind of just tiptoeing around it, and I was honestly really scared to go out there. There's a lot of uncertainty involved with that, and just the way that people are programmed, really, so I had a lot to it was tough. So I'm really in the beginning stages of that. Mm-hmm. But I guess where I'm at now, it's I'm a digital marketer. I work in digital marketing. I mainly specialize in Facebook advertising. For a while prior to where I'm at now, I was working at an agency. An agency mainly focused on paid advertising here, based in Long Island, and I was just an account manager. I realized, I was doing really great work for my clients. I was tired of just staying in one kind of niche in marketing, and I really wanted to actually get my hands dirty and in a good way and actually do some real work within accounts and real work with businesses, as opposed to having 20 different clients and scrambling and that's sort of the agency setting with paid advertising, and I just wanted to step away from that, and I wanted to be more personable and take a more consultative approach. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm just getting myself out there. I think it's one of those things where it just happened really fast. It happened really, really fast.
Yeah, that is so cool to hear, because a lot of people are actually in your shoes. They're doing exactly that for someone else, but they want to take that first step into building their own stuff. So right. What made you decide? Was there a deciding moment you were like, you know what, let me just do this for myself, let me start my own thing? Was there a moment for that?
Yeah, there definitely was, and it's crazy because I came out of the agency kind of setting, and I was really good at my job, and agency work, it just kind of runs you down sometimes. There's a lot of burnout within the agency model. Yeah, it's normal. That's just how it is. That's how they make money. But I stepped out of that for a second. I was like, I need to catch my breath. I need to figure out what I want to do in life, because I feel like I don't like this. I felt I was doing the similar things than what I was doing. Sorry, there's someone just screaming outside.
I don't know. We're raw over here.
They're really excited too about my story, as you can see.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying. I just felt like maybe this isn't for me. I was doing the same thing that I'm doing now, really, just to be more overwhelmed and not really, like I said, really getting involved in the accounts.
Absolutely.
As much as I would like to.
Yeah, and what were you seeking? What were you seeking that you weren't getting at your agency? What you wanted out of life?
Man, I felt like it's tough, because it wasn't the agency's fault. fault.
Of
It
course.
was for me. It was just like I wasn't taking a step. I wasn't taking a step back to breathe and to really like do this at my own, not necessarily at my own pace, but figure out why I'm doing it. What kind of value am I adding to businesses? What do I was moving it so fast that I didn't even know, like, what did I like out of it? You know, like, what was my favorite part? Was it the client communication, or was it actually, like, digging into the data? What were my strengths? What were my weaknesses? So I took a step back, and I was like, oh, I'll freelance, I'll have a client on my own, and I'll just, like, take it, like, I saved up enough where I could breathe a little bit. Which is a luxury in itself, but I took that step back and I found myself back into it, but, on my own terms, right?
Yeah,
and
that's really different.
Like, yeah, on my own terms, and I was like, I really like this. Like, I found my passion again. Me, my passion was connecting, like just connecting with people, connecting with business owners, and actually being able to just personify their message, or just let their being that connection between their brand and what they're trying to do, and like helping that reach the masses.
And how did that, once you had that feeling, how did that feel?
That feeling is just like, it's like winning. Like, I love to win. Like, I fucking love to win. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not
good.
I just that's just me. Like, I love to win. And so for me, that felt like winning. I was just like, not only am I happy and satisfied, but the client happy, their business is doing well, and I was just thrilled. And that's what I get out of it. And I heard this in a talk once. Basically, it's when you figure out what you're good at, right? You figure out what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and you kind of find how those two combine can add value to the marketplace. And that's what I found. Like exactly. It's like, I found that I'm a good communicator. I'm a good connector. And one of my kind of like auxiliary skills is that, I can, I'm kind of neurotic, and it's a plus and a negative. And it works for me because I delve into data, and I can make some kind of assumptions. I can make a story. I can understand things, especially bringing that insight to a business. And that helps their business grow.
Of course.
So I found that, my passion for communicating, my passion for connecting, my passion for winning, I guess, I married that too. And that's why I always tell people, like, marketing kind of found me. Because that's what you do in marketing, connecting a brand, a company to the masses. And then so many different digital channels in which you could do that in. And I just found, I've niched it down to Facebook advertising.
How long has it been since you went solo, since you've been an entrepreneur? How long has it been to now?
So like, ever since, like, I graduated college, I've always freelanced, to be honest. Like, it's just something I've always done on the side. I've always done it. It's something I've always liked to do. But seriously, with no, like, backup, nothing like that, it's been 4 months now. So I say it's very new.
Yes, I love it. And have you, like, looking back, have you had any challenges throughout your journey? Have you thought of this? Like, have you had any challenges? Is it as you thought it would be? Is that as easy as you thought it would be, or have you faced any challenges?
The challenges are every day, right? We face challenges on a daily basis, but the real challenge is not the client. The real challenge is not the work. The real challenge is, like, you confronting your limiting beliefs. That's the real challenge. The real challenge is, like, the people around you, like, the way they influence you. That's the real challenge. And even, like, the notion that it's really hard, I don't think it's as hard as people hype it up to be. Like, I'm just being myself. And I think, like I said, it's the hard part of, like, going against what society says is normal and, like, what you have to do. That's the hard part, having the courage, building that internal courage and the mindset. That's really the hard part.
Yeah, and I find that there are a lot of, like, digital marketers out, and they're finding a hard time, like, marketing themselves. What are you doing different, and how are you finding clients? Like, that's what they're struggling with.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? Where everyone's kind of That's like a marketer's conundrum where you do it for other people, but you can't do it for yourself. The main thing is like I got over being scared of sounding stupid. I got over that. Like, I feel like that's like a big battle with a lot of people where they're just like they can do it behind. The same with me. Like, you could do it behind like the mask of a client. You could do it for them because that's their face that they're showing. But then you can't do it for yourself because you're kind of like, damn, people are gonna say something, or like, I look stupid, or like whatever. It's just for me, the way I'm going about it that's a lot different. Is just I'm just putting my journey out there. I guess taking like the Gary V route. I don't know, trying to just like. Honestly, I'm just being open and honest with people. Like, I'm being myself to the max, and I'm finding the courage to just put myself out there.
And how are you doing that? Are you doing that through social media, through YouTube, through Instagram? How are you doing that?
Social media is really where you can build those connections. Okay. Like, there's a real that social media is a real gem for any entrepreneur. Just to make connections with people, especially now in a digital age where. It's like people date online, and it's just we live digitally. So online social media, that's I mean, Instagram is a big one for me, and I'm planning to move into YouTube actually, like within the next month or so. So
yes, that's what I'm talking about, and I just find that very interesting that you found how to stand out in such a crowded market. I mean, there are a lot of digital marketers out there who are struggling to find that success, and I'm really happy that you're finding that. What would you say are I know 4 months ago you had a certain set of goals. Are you still pursuing those goals, or do you have you achieved those, and are you pursuing different goals at the moment?
So I guess, what do you mean, personal or
business goals?
Business goals. So I guess personal goals and business goals go hand in hand for me, but the way in which I get there has changed a little bit, like as what I've planned. Okay. But the end goal has always remained the same. Okay. So for me, like my overall goal is to obviously build up a client list of clients that I'm dying to work with, and they're dying to work with me. Building my personal brand and kind of getting to a point where I can take a step back and actually start teaching people of how to do this, or teaching people, because that's kind of like my angle with things. I have like a very like teacherly consulting kind of approach to things. So that's my strength, just helping people figure that out, and helping people break into the industry. Just because I did it without a degree, and I didn't graduate with a marketing degree. It was communications, which is the biggest bullshit degree in the world. So it's very easy. Not liberal arts is. It was the biggest bullshit degree ever. So, yeah. So
I agree.
It really fucking is. So that's really my goal, is to kind of like become an influencer in the space. But that goal has remained the same, and it hasn't changed. But like I said, like the avenues in which I get there have changed. Like I didn't think that I would pick up like 4 clients as soon as I left my agency. I didn't think this, like I had those in mind, but like when you also are kind of in the shits, like you like, so to speak, you can't like, like things change, like like I thought, I don't know, weeks vary. Like this Monday is completely different from last Monday. Okay. Like every day is kind of different. And I kind of have made peace and friends with the change. I like it. I love it.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And
goals are the same though.
Of course. And what would you say, can you just walk me through your day-to-day, like from the moment you wake up to like the moment you leave the office? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Right. So this is my office here, which is my room. No, but I also have I work at a co-working space too. So like, I guess like a typical day for me, like I wake up, sometimes I sometimes I wake up at like 7 in the morning. Sometimes I wake up at 10. Like it depends how late I was out the night before. Yeah, it's like it's so it varies. I probably spend an average. All right, let me go back.
Okay.
So I wake up, I look through my emails. Well, I take a second to kind of just like relax a bit.
Yeah, stretch out.
Yeah, stretch out, like drink some tea.
Okay.
Go back.
What tea do you like?
I have to. So I stopped drinking coffee, so I have to drink tea with caffeine.
That's tough. What?
I know. I have to. I need caffeine. So.
What's the reason you stopped drinking coffee?
It had too much caffeine. Like I have so much energy on my own, so it's like you gotta imagine. Like I was just like about to pull out my hair with so much like. I just needed to breathe a bit, and so I was like, let me take a break. I do that a lot, where I take a step back and I'm like, I reevaluate my routine. I'm just like, let me take this out and see what happens.
That's cool.
Like, I'm always testing. I'm a real marketer.
Yeah.
Like, I really am always testing. So I drink some tea. I go back, check my emails, see what's happening with my clients, and like reach out if anything. Get into some client work. I'm trying to systemize it a little more, and trying to probably work anywhere between 3 or 4 hours a day of just getting into client work, getting into accounts, assessing what needs to be changed, what needs to be optimized, etc. And then spending the rest of my day like doing outreach, so either posting on social media or reaching out to people on social media, just connecting with people and building relationships.
How do you build connections on social media? I know it can be very crowded. How do you build like a genuine connection online?
It's so easy. Just be genuine. It's like just be real. Just be honest with people. Like someone will follow me and I'll just be like, hey, I really appreciate your follow. I like your content. Like just ask a question. Like
yes.
How are you doing today? Like, I don't expect anything in return. I really go by mindset. And I used to have a very limited, very scarcity-centered mindset.
Of course.
Right? Now I have a very abundant mindset. Everything is an opportunity. Absolutely everything. Everything around me is an opportunity. Every person I meet is an opportunity. Just getting to know them is great for me. Like I'm not expecting absolutely anything in return. I'm just giving. That's kind of my approach. Jab, jab, right hook. Like very Gary Vee. Even though I'm not really about hustle, grind.
Hardcore. Just the certain aspects of your characteristics. That is.
I know, but I'm not really that. Like I think it's important to kind of self-evaluate constantly. I don't think it's really, at least it's not my style to like constantly be working all the time. But in terms of like how to make relationships, just give out valuable content. Like people often like will message me on Instagram, and I'll take the time to like give them really well thought out responses. Like I won't bullshit responses. Like I'll be like, hey, like. That was really, here's my genuine and honest advice, and I'll take an hour to respond to them and to send them, like, how do I get into the industry, or, like, oh, I think it's so cool that you work for yourself, like, that's cool, I want to do it too, and I'll take, like, 2 hours to break it down to them, like, what it's really about, and it's not about working for yourself, it's figuring out what you're passionate about at the end of the day, and trying to make that like perfect trifecta: what you're passionate about, what you're good at, and how does that provide value? Just breaking that down to me. Just that's what it is. Like just giving your time to people, and not much expecting so much in return. It's just jab, 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 right hook. I guess eventually you'll ask them for something.
Yeah. Or they'll ask you about it. Like I want you to do the service for me, Eventually, as soon as you provide so much value, I mean, it's bound to happen,
Exactly. And that's kind of how I've actually got my clients. Like they have followed my work, and they follow like content that I put out, or that like it's from a referral, a friend of a friend, and they really trust me. and I worked really hard to build that relationship with that person. And then they had, they were so kind enough to refer me to someone else. And like immediately off the bat, that client is dying to work with me because this person referred me. So for me, like it's building relationships, and the same way it works online is the same way it works in person. Just give to people, and you'd be surprised on where that takes you.
That is so cool. So you do your outreach at a certain time of the day. After that, what do you do?
After that, that's me time. Like, I'll go to the gym. I'm really into Tai Chi now. Yeah. It's really, like, I'm learning like a lot about like your energies. I just never paid attention to that shit before because I didn't really have the time.
I'm actually Google that Tai Chi.
Well, it's really cool. It's like I fucks with it heavy. Like, it's really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. But like,
but what is it? What is Tai Chi?
So Tai Chi is basically like, I just really started. It's basically like it's like a mindful kind of martial art. It became like a way in which you can, like, I guess, have your energies kind of flow, like to prevent any blockages, and became like a martial art in which people use it like to defend themselves, and just like a lot of old people in the park doing Tai Chi and stuff.
Oh yes. See them in Chinatown all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's more like it's like basically all the movements are to create a balance within yourself.
That is so cool.
You're broken up into 3 parts: your upper danja, your middle danja, and your lower danja, similar to like the chakras. So, and all of the things that you do, all the breathing exercises, just align all that. So I find myself obsessed with it. I really like it, and like that, I don't know what it is. It like works for me. I feel like $1,000,000 afterwards.
I love it. So in a nutshell, you can pretty much beat me up.
Not unless, if your energies are online, I can probably just help you put them back together. I'm pretty sure I can't beat you up, though.
That's so cool. So you take time to do your Tai Chi. After that, what do? You just wind up the day, relaxing?
Spend time with my friends and my family. Like, mainly right now, like, my family. Like, I try to spend time with my family. I try to even, like, meet up with people, like, if I'm in my office, right, and I'm just, like, chilling. I'm like, hey, come over, such and such, come over. Or like I'll make a conversation because I work in a co-working space probably 3 times or 2-3 times out of the week, and I use that to just make conversation with people. That's and so cool. Speak to people and be like, hey, like, what are you up to? Last week I actually had some pizza. Like, I just had extra pizza. I bought a pizza. I'm not gonna finish a whole pizza pie. I'm sort of on a diet. I'm not on a diet. I had so much pizza left, so I like just went around to different offices, introduced myself, and gave them pizza. That's what I mean. It's just like you just give, and eventually it'll come back. That's how I see the world now.
I love it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
How happy are you that you made the decision to start your own business?
I saw that question and I was just like, man, like 10 is not enough. 10. It's like a million, like, I'm able to actually fully be myself. And I don't think that some people work in a 9 to 5, and by all means, I don't want to shit on that because that works for some people, and that's great for you, right? Yeah. But it's also important to understand that not all people work within that system, and for me, like, I wasn't able to express myself in a lot of ways. For me, I really value freedom. Like, I value the ability to just, like, I'm going to have an interview, a Skype interview with Angelo at 2 p.m. on a Monday and drop everything else.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love that freedom. And I didn't really have that working for someone else. There's a lot of responsibilities that you assume. But the minute that I assumed full responsibility of my whole life, then following steps became easier to manage. I'm so happy. Like, it's a million just because I'm able to, like, live my life fully.
Yes.
Like, I don't believe in like, work-life balance. I mean, I guess I believe in it because you need to have a balance, right? But it should be something where, like,
more like a synchrony.
Yeah, this is a work thing. This is a life thing. Like, the two go hand in hand, I feel like. And if you're able to integrate that in your life, you're able to like live in a kind of flow state, and that, I don't mean to get like too old,
yes.
but it's
I'm
something.
I'm here tearing up a bit.
You teared up. But that's like,
because I feel the same way.
so happy. That's just, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing to live your life without anyone telling you, you should do this, you should do that. Like, you need to go back to school and get your master's.
I
you know,
agree.
you need to be married, and like, you know, I don't really fucking care because I'm my thing and I'm really happy.
I love it. Yes.
Money, and I'm providing value, and it's just it's a complete circle, man.
I agree. And if you had the chance to like go back in time, right? Would you change anything? If so, what would it be? Like, go back 4 months. Would you change anything at all? Would you do something different?
Yeah, I would actually. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason, right? And there's like, I really appreciate my journey, and I'm very grateful for my hardships, and I accept full responsibility for everything that's happened in my life. But if I could go back and I could kind of make it a little bit easier, I would be kinder to myself, honestly. If I could go back, I'd be so much more kinder to myself. And I don't know if this is everyone, but I know that, like, I know it's with women a lot. Like, you put yourself down a lot, and I would psych myself out constantly. And I didn't realize that I was ready for this probably 2 years ago. But I was just like, no, I'm not ready. Like, I can't even, like, talk to the phone, talk on the, you know, call a client, you know, like, I'm too scared to do any of this. Like, but, like, I really had the capability of doing all this. I just psyched myself out, and I was not nice to myself, not as nice as I should have been. And, yeah, I think, like, if I could go back, I would just be like, I would instill more confidence. Like,
no, absolutely.
You can totally do it. It's not as hard as everyone hypes it up to be.
Exactly. And on that note, what I do, I used to feel that way as well. And what I do now is every time I think like something negative, or if I doubt myself, I just think to myself like, yo, you only have this one life. This is the only life you have. Make it happen. Like, this is the only chance you have right now, bro.
Right, exactly.
You know, so that helps a lot. Believe it or not, it really helps.
Glad that you just have one life, exactly. Like, I would hate to live a life where I'm constantly thinking, what if this? Like, I'm over that, you know?
Imagine being 90 years old in the hospital, just on your bed, like, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's like you waste all your time. Like, I feel like I've read that somewhere. Like, the most common thing that people say on their deathbed.
That was in a book somewhere.
It must have been somewhere, because I remember, like, this is like a stat. Like, there's like 3 things that people say before they die. Like, it's always like, I wish I spent more time with my family. I wish I spent more time traveling. I wish
what was that? Like, Think and Grow Rich somewhere?
Something like that. I don't know. I read a lot of books, and I forget where, like, I get my information from. But
as long as you get it.
Yeah, pretty much is like, everyone regrets not living their life to the max.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Be that person.
That's so cool. I'm here tearing up. Wow. Look. We're on the same energy. The Tai Chi is happening right now.
I'm aligning your ganjas. Helping to align them.
So let me ask you this. If you were stranded, right, in a random city somewhere, right, and you only had your laptop and $150 to your name, right, what would you do to, like, start your business over again, or start any business, or make money? What would you do?
I would buy pizza and hand it out again to just people randomly.
Yes.
Make connections.
Yeah.
No, why not? Like, I'd start off like that. If I had $150, I'd buy something, you know, like, something that I can give away. Like, I don't know, some, like, cupcakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Go off to different businesses, introduce myself. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. You know, like offer them not necessarily offer them marketing services. I just go off and give them advice.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And yeah, here's a free cupcake. If you need me, I'm here.
I'm in
the next door, and I'll just do that. Just like, honestly, like, I feel like I've built over the past 4 years, I've built myself up to, like, no matter what happens to me, if I'm dead broke, I have nothing, like I'll always know how to make money because I know how to build relationships. Like, you know, and not only do I know how to build relationships, like I know what's valuable in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you know, if you have the skill where you know how to sell, like that just goes a long way.
I agree.
Like that, you're never gonna be without food. You know how to sell, because I could be like, I could probably sell you. You know, I could probably sell like something on the ground. I'll make it with my hands and I'll like sell it to you. You know, like it's as long as you know how to sell, as long as you have like a skill, like a very, I call it like a high income skill, like marketing or copywriting, one of those.
Learn it.
Yeah, you'll never be hungry.
Yes, I respect that. And if just a couple more questions, if you had just one piece of advice to give someone that's just starting out in their journey and their business, what would it be?
I guess the one thing I would probably go back. It's interesting because I mentioned how someone messaged me and they're like, "Oh, I want to start my own business. I want to be just like you." And this person was like, actually brought me to tears because I felt like I was talking to myself. And I was like, and I told them, first question I asked, I was like, "That's really cool, and I'm really happy that, you know, I inspired you, right? But what are you passionate about?" And their response was like, "I don't know. What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's not a hard question, man. What are you passionate about? Like, it should be fast, right?" Like, I don't know. Like, that's hard. I mean, I like my job or whatever, and I'm just like, that's all great and fine, but if you don't know what you're passionate about, you haven't failed enough. Like, you haven't tried and you haven't tried like anything really. You haven't tried enough things. Like, you don't know what you're good at. You don't know what you're bad at. Like, you don't know enough about
enjoy. You don't know what you don't like.
Exactly. So it's just like, I was just like, you need to take a step back. You want to be an entrepreneur. You're like, okay, that's cool. Like, that's fine. Awesome. But there's a bigger underlying problem there, and that's you don't even know yourself. So before you do anything, really know yourself. Take the hustle. This is why I don't really prescribe to the whole hustle and grind bullshit. Like, you can hustle and grind until your eyes are red and your lips turn blue. You can do any of that, right? But it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing it for. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing it for. Like, it doesn't matter, because you're gonna, in a year from now, because I've been in the same position, and in a year from now you're gonna be hustling, grinding, you to do, you know, what everyone feel like is the right thing to do, and you're getting money, and like, yeah, it's lit. But then you're just like, you're at home and you're sad. You're sad. Like, it's not fulfilling, and that's because you ignored yourself. Like, you were following other people, and you were prescribing yourself medicine that just wasn't for you. You know, like, so always go back to the, like, fail more and figure out your passion.
Yes.
Like, for everyone who like starts off in the beginning, you have to figure out your why. The reason why people lose their way is because they don't know their why.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's your North Star.
Perfect. Just figure out your purpose, figure out what you're meant to do, figure out your passion, and pursue that.
Yeah, that's a journey in itself.
Oh.
I'm 27 years old. I'm not like young. I'm not like an 18-year-old like marketing whiz. Like, no, it's been a long time figuring that out.
Yeah, it takes a long time, and you're gonna fail so many times, and it's okay to fail. Like, it is okay. Like, you're supposed to fail.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the first time you do it. You're gonna be nah. It may happen, but it's not. It doesn't happen to everyone, and it's okay to fail.
Right.
I failed millions of times. Millions, and that's the cool part about it. Yeah.
Like, I'm putting my money in, you know, like, well, not yet, but I'm going to invest a lot of time in YouTube and, like, investing in new camera equipment. I don't know if that's going to fail. Like, maybe it will, and then I'll learn from the results, and I'll get better.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. Like, when you have an abundance mindset, like, failure isn't exactly failure. I say failure because that's what the world, like, that's vernacular of the world. Like, that, for me, is not failure. It's like, it's getting to the, like, it's getting there faster. Like, it's just, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you know, like, it's an investment.
It's
like,
the process.
constantly an opportunity. If I were to invest 10K, you know, in whatever, a new camera for YouTube or whatever, in a new computer, and if there's no like return on investment for that, I'm not gonna be like, that's the worst thing to ever happen to me. Like, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna keep it moving, and I'm gonna be like,
sell the camera.
Yeah, I sell the camera. I made an expensive ass mistake, but you know what? I learned from that, and I'm that much better. I noticed that really successful people kind of gamble. So many courses that I've spent, I've probably spent over right under $10,000 in courses alone, and a lot of them didn't work for me. But I learned, and I'm where I'm at because of them. Like, I invest, and I kind of just keep trying, keep failing, and I fail in the right way, you know. And I know that that mentality is going to lead me to just places that people can't even fathom, and that's my goal. Like, that's
so cool.
Keep failing.
Yeah, keep failing, guys. All right, last thing. Do you have any like last messages, any pieces of advice, anything at all, any shout outs you would like to give to wrap this up?
Last piece of advice or shout outs, I guess, like, just keep, you know, like, just to go back to that, like, everyone's going to tell you to hustle and grind. Everyone's going to tell you that it's hard and that it's, you know, it's like, you know, like, it's you got to work 50 bajillion hours a week and it's blah, blah, blah. Like,
I relate so much to that.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not as difficult as people paint it out to be. It's truly living in your truth. It's living in your light. And if you find that difficult, then you gotta reevaluate how you're living. You're obviously living in someone else's truth and not your own.
Exactly.
You can hustle and grind, like I said, till your eyes turn red and your lips turn blue. But what are you doing it for?
Exactly.
Passionate about.
I agree. And if it's your true passion, if you're truly enjoying it, you're gonna enjoy that process. Like, you're gonna enjoy failing. You're gonna enjoy like fully submerging yourself in it. And it's not going to be like this pain. It's going to be enjoyment, you know, if you're truly passionate about it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, like, that's what I said. Like, there was a point where I know to the world that I might have seemed like a failure just because I, like, you know, when I quit my job and I kind of didn't have too much to my name, to the world, I was making a huge mistake. But for myself, I knew that I needed that time. I needed that. For me, I know I was failing in the right direction.
Oh, I like that. That should be your book title right there, Failing in the Right Direction.
I actually have a book around here.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. No, but it's not. Hold on. 1 second.
Yeah, show me.
It's actually really, someone gave this to me, and it just, like, made the best impact in the world. Like, it's just try again, fail again, fail better. And whenever I kind of like have a little funk, I kind of just like read through the little quotes, and it's just like this. So this is a quote by Abraham Lincoln, and he said, "My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like, it kind of like gives you a little excerpt on like how he was. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress on his 3rd try. So I mean, like, he failed twice before. You know, so it's just. I
need that book.
The story is there. It's just like of failures. Miles Davis, a failure. Winston Churchill, failures. But that's what you just have to do, man. You just gotta keep on keeping on.
Yes. Any last bit of, like, do you want to give a shout out? What was your your Instagram?
Yes. Follow me, yes. Follow me on IG. My Instagram handle is Sandoval with a little underscore at the end. So maybe put like a little thing to it right there.
Yes.
Follow. Also, add me on LinkedIn. I'm building out content there. And I guess Angela will keep you posted on when I actually launch my YouTube channel.
Yes.
I'll put out some great content for you guys.
Yes, I love it.
Awesome.
All right, so I just want to thank you so much for jumping on this call. I really appreciate it. Here are my top takeaways. Always test. A big part of running a business is marketing your product or service. There's a ton that goes into getting eyeballs to your brand, and in order to get to that point, you must test what works. In order for you to know who wants your product or service, what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and why they want it, you must test. Test different ad campaigns, images, copy, and even demographics. Find out what works and put your budget towards that. Build relationships. Cynthia has built a successful business because she has built genuine relationships with people over time. If you truly want to build a long-lasting business that your customers or clients love, then learn the art of building strong relationships. Make time for yourself. Cynthia dedicates a part of each day to herself. She takes this time to do something that isn't necessarily work-related. It's important to find your happy balance when sustaining your business. That's all for today. If you like what you see, consider subscribing and press that notification bell to be notified when we post. If you or anyone you know would like to share their business story, feel free to send the email in the description below. Today's quote: "Be so good that they can't ignore you." Steve Martin. Peace.